Yo, what's up, y'all? Today's like day 144 of the dropshipping journey. And long story short, I'm pretty much gonna be talking about how I track my profits and the KPI rule. I feel like you gotta know before you start testing any products on Facebook or you start scaling it. The only reason why I say this is because had I known this, it would have made it way easier to actually make profit, like really high, consistent profit margins instead of just like revenue screenshots you see all over Twitter and Discord. And then yeah, I'm also gonna like show my profit loss sheet and link that below for y'all, so y'all can pretty much see how it works. Today's January 1st, 2026. I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't even feel like 2026, but I'm pretty excited for this year. I guess my two main goals for this year, like materialistic goals, I would say, is one, getting this YouTube channel to 2,000 subscribers. Right now we're at 180. We're averaging about 50 views per video, and I hope to get this 2K subs and about 500 to 600 views consistently. Hopefully, I can build like a strong click foundation of this YouTube channel, a strong community where we can just pretty much drop gems, share a game, spread knowledge, shit like that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, I'm gonna pretty much go over my profit loss sheet. I'm gonna link that below. I made that. It took me like 5-6 hours to make, and honestly, I really wish I had learned that a long time ago, because had I learned it, it would allow me to like see mistakes I made, patterns, recognize them, and then like shit like that, and also realize how much money I've been spending and investing into this business. And also, I made my KPI sheet. This KPI sheet is something I got from a mentorship. I spent like a few $1,000s on, and honestly, the mentorship didn't really help me a lot, but the KPI sheet is something I realized, like, in hindsight, is something that like allowed me to see how much money I got to make profit, how much money I got to sell something. And then after scaling my first product to 120K in revenue, I only ended up going home with about like 10K in profit, 11K in profit, probably like 10% margins, something like that. And I learned after scaling to that high and like scaling to like 3K a day in spend, 6K days, like you really need to have a high, pretty much a low break even ROAS and a high break even CPA. And so I pretty much want to, drop all the gems, all the game, so you can save yourself a lot of time when you're testing products, and then like pretty much don't have to test products that are never going to scale in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, pretty much first, track your profits. Honestly, I feel like you got to track everything. One, because it kind of shows your live progress, right? And so like in January, you can see, boom, I tested 7 products, lost $800. But in February, I tested 10 products and lost only $800. Allows you to see and stop being emotional on a day-to-day basis. Because I'm not gonna lie, when you're in the trenches, you don't know how long you're gonna be in the trenches for, right? And so like it gets super dismotivating. But when you see the straight numbers, for a fact, numbers don't lie. So you can pretty much see like, okay, yeah, I have been putting into work. I have been testing products. You know what I'm saying? You can just pretty much use that as a way to motivate yourself, or kind of like as a GPS system to see that you're on the right track. It helps you see patterns, fuck ups, mistakes you're making. And, they say the definition of insanity is pretty much doing something over and over again, not changing the system or whatever, right? And then by doing this, you pretty much see how much money you're making, how much you're wasting, and the growth you're making. And it's basically, long story short, it's like progress photos, or like scaling yourself on a weight when you're hitting on a scale when you're hitting the gym, instead of eyeballing every day, right? So if you're hitting the gym every day for like a month, you're obviously not going to see any changes. But then if you eyeball yourself looking at the mirror, you'd be like, I'm not really seeing anything. But if you scale yourself every Sunday, you'll see you've been dropping pounds, and it's kind of like motivation. So pretty much next, I'm gonna just tell you all my rules when testing a product to make it as easy as possible to scale on Facebook, like Halo, Data Rip, or whatever, or any product you're testing. So one, you want to launch products that are at least $60 minimum, unless it's an MRR product, meaning it's like a subscribe product. So like, no one's gonna be paying $60 for a pack of vitamin D, right? So unless it's like a renewable product, like a foot cream or like a hair cream or hair powder or whatever, just make sure to it's a minimum of $60. The reason why I'll explain, but it'll make your life so much easier to make actually profit but not revenue. And then you can pass with $50 if you really see something in it, but 60 is like the ideal number. And the biggest guys in the e-commerce space would tell you and vouch for me. The guys like Sean Ng, he says like in his program, the average AOV is like 60, really $65, and that's like the perfect number to like, that's not too expensive for someone to think like, oh, should I really buy $65? But it's not too little where it's damn near impossible to make profit, not revenue, profit. Make sure there's a minimum of a 4x markup. So if you're getting a product for $10, at bare minimum, make sure you're selling it for at least $40. But it has to be at least $60. So really, if you're getting a product for 15, make sure you're selling it for a bare minimum of $60, but a 4x markup. So yes, you can have a 10x markup on a $5 product, right? But or a 10x markup on a $4 product, but you'll only be selling for 40. But you need to sell it for $60 minimum, but a 4x markup. and a 72% gross margin. I'll show you what that means when we go here, but you want this number to be at least 72%. And then I'm gonna explain to you the reasons why you need to know this and like have this. It's not because I want to or why, but it's because I scaled to 100K in rev and I realized how hard it is to actually become profitable in e-commerce and dropshipping. And not make revenue, because you see everyone pull 5K days, but you want profit. At the end of the day, you need to pay your bills and retire your mom and drive that Urus, right? You can't pay that shit off with a revenue screenshot. So the two most important metrics you need to know is ROAS and CPA. So if you notice, just skip 2 minutes. But pretty much ROAS is your return on ad spend. So basically you put money into Facebook, it's the money you get back from Facebook. So if you give Facebook $1, Facebook will give you back $2, right? So that means you have 2 ROAS. So it's just a multiplier of whatever money you put into Facebook. So just imagine like a money printing tree. So if you give Facebook $100 and they give you back 300, that's an effective ROAS of 3 right here. So put in 100, 300 back, 3 ROAS. Put in 1,000, 10,000 back, 10 ROAS. Easy. It's just a multiplier, right? Just your ROAS. The higher the ROAS, the more money you make because it's a money multiplier. So what's better, a 2 ROAS or a 10 ROAS? Obviously a 10, because you're getting 10 times whatever you put in. So XYZ. The next thing is your CPA. So CPA is pretty much the amount of money you spend to get one customer to buy something from you. So just think about it like this. You're spending $100 and 4 people will buy from you. That means your CPA is $25. So you just divide $100 by 4, you get a CPA of 25. So I paid $25 to acquire the customer. So I paid $25 to get this customer to buy a product from my store. So the lower your CPA, the more money you make. The reason why is because if you had a $10 CPA here, you'd pretty much be able to buy 10 customers, right? But if you have a $25 CPA, you'd only be able to buy 4 customers because, you know what I'm saying, you only have $100 to spare. So I think that's pretty much as easy as it could get. And then basically with the money you can give Facebook is how many customers you can get. So you just want to pay as little as possible to get as many customers as possible, right? So if this can be a $1 CPA, that would be amazing, because you'll have $100. You can get 100 customers. If your CPA is $50, you can only get 2 customers, right? Because $100 can only buy you 2 people. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. So it's just the cost to buy a customer. Now the 2 main numbers you need to know, now that you understand the definition of ROAS and CPA, is your break-even ROAS is the minimum ROAS you need to stay profitable, right? So if your break-even ROAS is 1.25, you need at least a ROAS above this number to be profitable. Here you can just put you're selling the product for 50 and then you're getting it for 10, right? Your break-even ROAS is $1.25 because you had to pay for the product cost. So now your ROAS has to bare minimum be over 1.25 for you to be profitable. So whenever you go into your Facebook Ads Manager, if you check you're selling a product for 50 and your cost is $10, you need to get over a 1.25 ROAS. So if you're spending $100, you need to make at least $126 to be profitable. CPA is the maximum CPA you can afford to stay profitable. So if you're selling a product for $50 and your COGS is 10, you have a $40 left as a margin, right? 50 minus 40 is 10. 50 minus 10 is 40. So that means with $40, that's how much money you have to get as many customers as possible, right? So right here, when we said the CPA, that a CPA is $25, you could only buy 1 customer to buy something from your store, right? So that's not really a lot. So the higher your dollar margin is, the more customers you can buy basically with your money, right? Because you can't buy $50 worth of customers because you have to pay $10 for the product. 50 minus 10 is 40. You have $40 left. That's as many customers you can buy. And so with that $40 to go. So now that was pretty much a basic crash course. I'm pretty sure you probably noticed. But now what's the truth about Facebook, right? The average ROAS on Facebook is a 1.8, right? I Googled it. Pretty much in e-commerce, the average ROAS is a 1.8, right? And I'm only basing this on average, right? Because I was talking to my friend, like if we're in e-commerce, your goal is to obviously be over 1.8, right? Or be over your break even, but your goal is to always be above average, right? We're not average as niggas. So long story short, you want your ROAS to be, basically you want your break even ROAS to be as low as possible. A lot of people don't understand they're selling products for a 2-3x markup, right? So if a person's selling, I don't know, on a 3x markup, 50 divided by 3 is like 8 to 17. A lot of these people are selling products at a break-even ROAS of 1.52, bro. 1.52 is a very hard break to get on a daily basis, basically. Not hard to get on a daily basis, but like if this is your break-even, bro, this is very, very, very bad, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm explaining to you why. So So right here, yeah, right. So this is pretty much a KPI worksheet, right? So I got this from my mentorship, right? So if you put pretty much right here, you put your AOV, so the average price you're selling a product for. Here's your average fee. So right here, it'll subtract the average Shopify processing fee. So every time a credit card is swiped on the Shopify or whatever, Stripe, whatever, 2.7%, depending on your Shopify subscription, will be taken away. And then here you just put your COGS. So right here, you would just put, let's just say 17. And then here's your gross profit margin. So it just pretty much is your gross profit margin. You want to get this number at bare minimum to 72%. So this is really bad. This gross profit margin is how much profit are you trying to make? The average profit margin, I believe, in e-commerce is 20 to 25%, right? In my opinion, I feel like to get an A in the class of e-commerce, you need a 30% margin. A B would be considered a 25% margin. A C is a 20% margin, and then a D is 15%. If you get less than 15%, nigga, you failed the class. So you at bare minimum, you want this shit to be like, let's just get a B in the class, right? Bro, oh my god, bro. And then right here, I was just looking at this number, how high this number is. It's ridiculously high. But right here is your return percentage. So basically, there's always going to be a Karen, a Steve, or whatever that wants to be a bitch and charge back or claim a refund or just be a dick and say your product was pretty shit. So always, always, always calculate a 1% return fee. You're never going to have a perfect society where everyone's going to love your product. So this just calculate you get 1% of your orders are refunds. So now right here, these two numbers, and these two numbers are your most important things, right? So remember I told you the average ROAS on Facebook is a 1.8, right? So the average CPA on Facebook is also you know what, forget the CPA, we'll talk about that later, right? So right now your break even just to be profitable is a 1.6. The average is a 1.8, but we're just saying break even. So if you put in $100, you need to make at bare minimum $160 to cover all of your processing fees and the product cost / COGS, right? The average is 1.8, so that's damn near so close to getting to the average ROAS, right? But to make 25% profit, right? So you put $1,000 in, you get a 1K day revenue. Just to get 25% margin, $250 in profit, you need a 2.6 ROAS, bro. Like, do you see how high that is? You need a 2.6 ROAS just to get 25% profit. That's really, really stupidly high. And so you want this number to be as close as possible to this number 1.8, right? To make it as easy to scale. If getting a 2.6 ROAS was possible and easily, bro, damn near nobody would be investing into the stock market because they know on a daily basis they can get 2.6x return on whatever money they spend. So that's just like, you see, it's just like, bro, come on, now what are you doing? But if you get a product that you're selling for $17 and can sell it for, let's just say, 17 times 4, 68. Boom. Now you see how close your 25% margin ROAS is. It's super close to 1.8. So that's what you want to do. Now, my goal, if I was you, bro, if I was anybody, I would say you want this number to be below 1.4 at always, and then get it to like 1.3 to 1.35. If you can get this, bro, you're pretty much set. And yeah, so anything between 1.3 and 1.4 is perfect. Preferably get this as low as possible, but at bare minimum, get this number to 1.4 and less, bro. Because if you can sell so much easier and make so much profit way faster. You know what I'm saying? And then this number, just get it down closer to like 1.9 too. But also if you want to like make less profit, you can always get a lower ROAS. But nigga, why would you want to put 1,000? Why would you want to make 1K in revenue just for $100 in profit? That's damn near, pennies on the dollar, right? You want to get a B in this class and at least get 25% margins. So that's pretty much how the thing works. And then the next part is the average CPA. It obviously depends. Look. The other truth about Facebook is the cost to get a customer, bro. If you're selling a product for $40, bro, just to get one customer to buy a product from your store, it's gonna cost you on average, okay, between $28 to $35. So depending on the price of the product, right, if you're selling a more expensive product like $200, it's gonna cost more money for Facebook to find someone that's willing to spend $200 on a random Tuesday, right? So your CPA might be $60, $70, $80, right? But on average, bro, if you're selling anything less than $100, your CPA to find someone in America or anywhere that's willing to buy your product is going to be $28 to $35. Now this is just the average, right? You can lower this if you got a diamond of a product from Calidata, and everybody wants a product, right? So if you're selling a quarter zip or the boo boo, your CPA might be like $15 if there was no competition, because damn near everyone and their grandma wants that product, right? So there's so much demand. Um, and then also, like, if you have really, really, really good video ads or marketing skills, and you can convince anyone to buy your product even though they don't want it or need it, then you can get your CPA down to like 15, 30, $25. But I'm being honest with you, your average CPA is always going to be between 28 to $35. And as you spend more money, it's going to increase because it's harder to find more people that are easily willing to buy your product, right? Now Facebook has to find within 100 million people in the US that's willing to buy your product for $35, which is pretty hard, because then everyone else is competing to sell a product. Because everyone else is willing to buy, every other dropship or e-commerce brand or whatever is trying to find someone that's willing to buy their product for, for $28, $35. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So right here, this is pretty much the maximum money you can spend on ads without while being break even. So you're getting a product you're selling it for 68, and then you're getting it for 17. 68 minus 17 is 51, right? Regarding the 2.7% processing fee and the 1% in refunds or returns or chargebacks or whatever, your break even is 49. So this is the most amount of money you can spend on Facebook to get XYZ amount of customers. So if you have a $25 CPA, you can only afford basically 2 customers. You can only get 2 customers for every sale, for every product or whatever. And then right here though, this is the main number you want to worry about. To make 25%, that means the maximum CPA you can afford is $32. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, so basically you want this number to be as high as possible and this number to be as low as possible. You want this number to be as low as possible and this number to be as high as possible. The reason why is because this is pretty much the most amount of money you can spend to get as many customers as possible. This is the minimum ROAS you need to get on Facebook just to be break even. So I hope that makes sense. Do as you will with that this information. I'm pretty much a new YouTuber, so I'm trying to speak in a very formal way and give as much value as possible, but trying to like articulate my words in a perfect way. But this is pretty much everything you need to know, bro. Like, just use this calculator and then just fuck around, what I'm saying, play with your dick or whatever, and try to see like how much you really need, right? Because think about it. If you can get a 15% profit margin, this right here means if you get 15%, if this number 1.75 is less than Facebook's average ROAS, that means you'll always make XYZ amount of money. So let's say you're spending $2,000 a day, right? And you get a 1.7 ROAS, right? That means you're giving Facebook $2,000 every single day, and then you're getting a 1.8 ROAS. They're giving you a return of 1.8, right? So that means every day you're making $3,500 of revenue. So your ad spend, you spend $2,000 with Facebook, you get a 1.8 ROAS multiplier, right? So Facebook multiplies that by 1.8. Now you're getting $3,500 in revenue every day. At 15% margins, bro, you're making $500 in profit every single day, damn near bare minimum, because your ROAS, your 15% ROAS is your ROAS KPI is so low that just to be profitable is damn near impossible for you to be unprofitable, right? Or to make no money, right? Because you're pretty much making $500 in profit damn near on easy mode, right? Because your 15% profit margin is less than your average Facebook ROAS. So that's pretty much what I was trying to say. I'm not gonna, as I get better at as I make more of these videos, I'll be better at articulating my words, my phrases, my sentences to explain to you what I'm trying to say. So I really hope that makes sense. If it does, I can make another video, but that's all I'm trying to say. Right here is like this profit loss sheet I made. So right here, all you would say is, boom, I'm testing a supplement, right? And then you just say, I started this product test January 2nd, ended it, let's say you gave it your 3-day rule or whatever. 4 days it ran. How much revenue did you get? Probably got like, I don't know, $600 in rev. You spent 100, maybe let's just say you spent $400 on ads. You end up paying your supplier, let's just say, I don't know, $80 in cogs. You only got like $30 worth of refunds. Boom. It'll tell you like how much profit you made with the product, your profit margin, and then your ROAS, and you keep doing that over and over again. And obviously, I'm not gonna lie, your first 30 products, they'll likely be red. I don't even want to be a pessimistic person, but when you're learning and making a lot of fuck ups, learning from this YouTube video, watching this money Twitter guy, or trying this course, you'll see a lot of fuck ups, and it'll be all red, red, red. If I showed you my profit loss sheet, it will be straight red for the first 1 year and like 62 products. And then right here, just say what's it called, ad platform you tested on, so Facebook, TikTok, etc. I tested 60 products on Facebook for my first, I tested like 60 on Facebook, like 30 on TikTok. Right here, put how many products you tested for a month. So just be like 10 total rev. You check it, be like 800, like 200. Profit loss, you probably lost 50. Boom, or you probably put like negative 50, and then boom, it'll just be automatically red. It took me a while, what I'm saying, to like get this so it's color matched, like negative, positive, green, whatever, right? So if you put it here, it's like positive green, or not, it's fucking XYZ. But yeah, just do that, and then you pretty much see, like, what I'm saying, how many products you tested. And if you're just consistently going up here, consistently going up in revenue every month, at least you're learning that, like, okay, I'm getting better at making websites, offers, ripping the right ads, etc. And even if your if your loss keeps going more and more down, it's fine, because you're just in a learning phase, right? So you got to accept that you're learning. And so even if all this is red, it's fine. But if you're consistently putting in the right inputs and putting in more and more products tested, more shots up, it's fine. You know what I'm saying? And then right here, you can kind of disregard this. What the fuck? You can kind of disregard this spot, because the app subscriptions you have on a monthly basis. But this is probably the main part where you want to do your shit. So basically, it took me a long time to do this shit, but long story short, for the month, so this is gonna be for the month of January, right? So right here, you put January profit loss, right? So I put all the months right here. So January, you just put like how many products you tested. It should automatically fill when you like put in a number here, but boom. And then right here, it just tells you the number of sales. So like I put 25 product tests. You can put for your profit loss sheet, and then it'll just automatically add it to your total number of sales you got. So if you got like 100 sales right here for this product, boom, updated 102. And then your gross revenue, let's say you got 10,000, boom, update your total gross revenue. Total ad spend, let's just say you put $50 here, boom, your total ad spend will increase. Total cogs is pretty much your product cost, so you just put like 200 here, boom. And then total payment fees, these are just fees. When I first started my dropshipping journey and I had to pay suppliers in China, I didn't know about this app called Wise, or PayPal, which like allow you to send like $2 fee transfers. I was paying $25, $40. Like every time I was sending a Wise transfer, $150 in wire fees. You're probably gonna have to pay that 4 times a month. That'll be like 200, boom, and then it'll just decrease from your total profit loss. You should be testing like at least 3 products. I would say at minimum a week. Really like 4. I feel like 4. I used to test 1 product a week. I used to think I was testing 2 products. I used to think I was testing like 2-3 products a week. I was really testing 1 product a week, because I ended up testing like 58 in like over a course of 52 weeks. But like here, make sure you're testing a lot of products. I'm not gonna lie. And then right here, just put your app names, or really subscription names or whatever. So for Shopify, all your apps will be combined in one. So for the month of January, how much did you get charged from Shopify? So you just put Shopify store 1, boom, and then you just put like $80, right? $40 for your Shopify fee. You probably have 1 click upsell, all that shit. Just put it all under Shopify column, like whatever you get charged from Shopify, put it there. And then you probably have like an agency or some bullshit like ToolSuite or Canva or whatever. Put that 50. Subscription fees will all add up here. Just put it all here. If you have more than 18 subscriptions, like shit, I don't know, you're doing something right. But you just do that shit, and then you just subtract this from here, and then you're good. I made it for February, March, April. That's just tough. And then right here is your long-term brand. So if you're running a store or a product that's more than 30 days or 40, 50 days, all you got to do is just click add a right column, extended days, boom. What the fuck would I do? Extended day here, extend this, boom, and you just keep adding a column, like boom, instant column added to the right or whatever, and then you're good. Besides that, that's pretty much it. If you have more than 5 products running more than 30 days, then shit, you're doing something really good. But this is just like your long-term brands or products you're running that are more than 30 days. Here, all you got to do for here, this is the day of the month. Obviously, every month is going to be different. So all you got to do is just put 1/1 for January 1st. And then all you can do is just, where is it? Like, once it's like here, just extend it so it can be January 2nd, 3rd, 4th. And then if you're running another product, like let's just say on the 10th, right? Instead of starting at 10 auto over here, just start right here. And then just put 1/10 and it'd be like January 11, 12, 13, etc. That's in terms of profit loss sheet.